Welcome back to Factorio on the September community map. So actually looks like that's doing very well. So last time I got this defense set up around this new mine site. So hopefully that's going to do okay. With the trees it's spreading out the attack nicely, but ammo might be an issue eventually. But there's a lot of copper I've got and also some more coal, so that's pretty useful. Also got some more oil and expanded out this. So I should now be in a situation where I can do some low density structures. Now I kind of still want to leave this space here specifically for science because I'm not entirely sure how much space it will take. But I do actually want the low density structures mainly for science. I want them to make these utility science packs. So the process units I did before, that's down there. I guess I'll turn that on and you can see what I'm looking at. So I've got the process units, got the, actually that's not going to help, got the process units. Can do the flying robot frames on site, so that's easy enough. It's basically doing that again. And then I'm going to do low density structures somewhere then. Possibly there, but it's kind of hard to get the resources from the bus to there. Low density structures do use up quite a bit of copper, especially. I also want some steel, but not nearly as much. Mostly copper, a fair bit of coal, and obviously gas as well. But gas is on this pipeline. So a possibility I'm thinking of is here, because with that stone there, I've run the track south anyway. So I'm probably not going to do anything useful with this space. It's a good initial place for low density structures at least, even if I expand it earlier. It's close to the belts, it's close to the resources, it's close to the science. Now if there is an issue, I think the main issue is going to be, I normally do kind of wide on low density structures because they're quite slow and they use a lot of input. Whereas this space is kind of a long space where I could do a big row there and a big row there. So I'm going to have to see about exactly how it works out. It looks like in terms of not landfilling stuff, this is as far north as I can go. And that misses everything. So this is going to be my reference point to start. Get rid of all these trees then, because I know I'm going to build here. Kind of useful to have them absorbing all this pollution, but well, they're probably going to start dying eventually anyway, and I just do want to rather build here. Now I need to leave some space for dealing with inputs and outputs and stuff, so I'm not going to go right as far west as I can. I'm going to start here, I think, and let's just have a look at this recipe. What have I got? So 20 copper plates is the big item here, that's the big ticket item. Then the steel and the plastic is not nearly as much. In fact, you consider it, the copper plates is more than double either of them. So if I have one belt of just copper plates, that's a complete belt of copper. I can have a half and half of steel and plastic, and it will still run out of copper first. Then I could have low density structures there. And given this amount of space, I can probably double this again, so I can do that. And then that would be 4 times as much copper, so is 4 times as much copper too much? That's actually perfect, because if there's 4 times as much copper, then the plastic and the copper will be in balance, and the steel, that can be a bit slow, but that's okay. Then I need to put plastic somewhere. Maybe I can put that in like a gap there. Plastic's a lot more dense, and I could belt it across. Not as neat as the normal layout, but I think that should work. So obviously as normal I'm going to build these in threes because the power poles just make that very convenient. Actually the power pole has to go on the bottom there because I built that right up against the cliff, so cliff against the water. Well, it's kind of like a cliff edge. Anyway, so yeah, the power pole won't fit on the top, that's fine. So it's going to come down. That's going to go up there. Output, that's an input. And then the long arms for the other side. So the actual layout for low density structures is pretty simple. It's just a capacity and throughput issue really. This can repeat along here. Let's do, say, what's that, 12? I kind of want to make up some speed. Let's do 18 and see where that ends up. Looking at the situation for coal. The question is, do I want to use this coal patch up? I might as well, I think. I've got 126 stone left. Iron is basically dead at this point entirely, so I'm going to have to do something about circuits actually. Because if this dries up, that's going to be an issue. I need those green circuits. It's a lot of copper. So the main downside is if I use up all the coal so these furnaces can't run, that's going to be a pain. What else am I using the coal for? I'm using it on that, and I'm actually using it on that. So the coal is going to be used up eventually. Maybe I'll leave that alone and just put a coal station in. So an extra station for coal. Bring that over. The copper being new, it should be coming. Yeah, it's just reloading its second set. So I'll bring in new coal from there. The steel I brought up from the existing bus and the copper I'm going to bring up from basically the existing bus, but I'm going to use a separate belt for that since I had 2 over there. And in fact, this is where I'm going to end up wanting 4 wagons, I suspect, because as I ramp up these higher demanding things, I might find the throughput's an issue. So now I didn't have enough iron to make any more wagons and stuff, so actually what I'm going to do is quickly, for each of these primary resources, if you like, I'm just going to add a box. So serves with a box, doesn't really matter if it's balanced or not, it's a fairly small amount. And this will just hold a stockpile for basically manual crafting or anything special like that. And I'm going to do that for each of these resources, so gears up there, steel, copper, etc. So I built a coal train, nothing really special about that. As I said, it just goes to the other place. And this is basically the same as the others, except I built 4 platforms. 4 platforms, well 4 wagons this time, with a standard 4-to-4 splitter. I came out here to do this. I'm just going to put like a whole load more ammo in these. Let's just fill them up entirely. Because with the 4s, they're not taking any damage. I don't think I want to worry about it too much, although just to be sure, actually let's build one of those, give it some construction bots and some repair packs. But most of my concern is it will run out of ammo eventually, which until I get logistics, robots and stuff, it's not easy to solve. So I can't remember exactly what the ratio is for plastic, but I think what I'm going to do is just take the design I took for red circuits, build it 3 times like that, bring in coal with, let's say, there, so I have space for the other stuff. So that's going to come out there. In fact, I think that should probably should underground. Make sure I don't leave any gaps, give it some power. So gas is fairly simple because that's just going to be from, let's do it like that actually, so that I have the space there. So that will come across there, link up with there, and the coal will come from there. Then I think now this should be fast enough to need red belt. So that's the idea, so that's going to come along there, join up with that one, and if I need to, I can just upgrade this to fast belts, which I think I'll need to at some point as I extend this out, but for now that'll be fine. And for low density structures themselves, I guess they can go here. Now that should have always been an underground anyway. That's a little bit special because it has to go onto that belt there, I guess. Anyway, so this here, I'm not sure why this ended up being like that, that's a bit odd. But yes, this here, where should I put this? I did put this in a straight line of that, but I kind of got in a mess with that, so let's see if I can avoid some of that mess if I go that way. Actually, I can get across there, then the only problem is the tracks. Let's come down here. Nope, you actually can't get down there because that puddle and the track not compatible. That's not compatible because that's in the way and that's in the way. Well, this is going to be a bit of a mess, I guess, but oh well. That can then go there. That can come down there. And it can link up there. Actually, I'm not going to even take it down that far. Let's just stop it there for a second because that's gone down past the science. Like it's going to be here somewhere-ish, so we'll see where that ends up when it ends up. So plastic is now being made and flowing into low density structures, and the first low density structures are being made. So brilliant! Can now finally get on with the science stuff. I'm going to have to monitor whether the belt capacity is enough or not. I'm suspecting maybe not, although this is getting started, so they're building up like their initial stockpile. But it's more than enough low density structures to get started on science at least, so let's go do that. So finally on to look at the yellow utility science. So this requires 21 seconds to make 3. In other words, it requires 7 seconds to make 1. So I need 7 of these, which is maybe not the most convenient number. We shall see how that works. So if each cycle takes 21 seconds and needs 1 flying robot frame, I'm going to make those in place. Flying robot frame takes 20 seconds, so there's only 1 second in it, so I might as well just call that 1-to-1. This needs an electric motor every 20 seconds, and this makes 1 every 10 seconds. This needs an engine, this makes 1 every 10 seconds. So it sounds to me like you have 1 of these, 2 1 of these, 2 1 of these, 2... Oh no, that's 1. So 1 of these to 1 of these to 2 of these to 2 of these. Then this also needs... So if I'm going to make So 7's an awkward number then because 2. So let's call it 8 because I'm rounding up. I'll just have a bit surplus. So if I have 8 of these, I'll have 4 of these. 4 of these every 10 seconds needs 2 pipe. Let's work out what that is then. So that's 8 pipe every 10 seconds. That's not actually a lot of pipe. One factory for pipe will be more than enough. So basically do some pipe. Get the right thing. So steel and gears again and pipe or something to that effect. Steel and gears. But 1 to 2 is going to be slightly different. So I'm not going to have one every tile because I need to do 1 and 1 and then have the 2 there and then have the 2 there. So that's the actual science packs. That's the robot frames. This will be the engines and this will be the basic engines. So let's see if I can work this out ideally. So pipe for the thing there. Could I make that more compact? Maybe. I can make that a little bit more compact. So that can do that. That's more compact then. That will tile. Then I don't need the extra tile in between those. I just need 1 tile. Nice. Then what do I need here? So they both need circuit. So if they both need circuit, option could be if I do that, move that up 1. This will be circuit. So that it can both get circuits. So circuit, circuit, and circuit. Motors go across. This also needs steel. Well, that is steel, but it's going to be difficult to have steel and both in reach of that and that at the same time, I think. So I'm not going to try and do that. I guess there's other layouts maybe that could work if I did basically a longer layout instead of tall. At least according to this orientation. So that's circuits, but it's actually going to need 2 other things. It's going to need steel and batteries. So that's 2 extra things it does need. So it could be there. So then that reaches across there. And inputs there. Let's try and get these power poles in some sort of straight line. Just so they look a little bit neater. So like that maybe. Obviously that's pipe, that'll be separate anyway. I'm not going to worry about making that to be the same. Then this needs another 2 inputs. It needs processor units and low density structures off of the bus. So that would be the bus feed, and then that can be the science pack. So if I copy that across, then it will be inputs and output. And then I should be able to tile this if I take that section. And I said you 8, so that's 4, 6, and 8 for the time being. Pipe here is really simple. It's just going to have that there, power pole, input and output, and then just connect it all up to those, which I've done a whole bunch of times, so I'll probably just skip over that and show the result. So actually thought of something special to do, so I've got steel and gears there, so I can do that, and it's easier than going to get them over there, especially with this in the way. Iron, that's a little bit more tricky. I think the best I can do is that. There I was saying this will be simple, and then I looked at it and went, nope, this doesn't quite line up nicely, does it? So that's iron, that's that. And then these ones definitely should be simple because there's lots of space here and these are straight. So quick change here. I actually figured I actually don't want these on both sides. I think it's too much like buffer. Represents a lot of resources. Otherwise this is very simple. So this is only a complicated bit because these come down and the batteries had to split here and come up. So also it was correct, I didn't want to bring this all the way down at this time because nothing down there needs low density structures. But this should now mean the science is going to work. And indeed it now seems science is working. So next up, I actually want to do both of these at the same time, so go straight onto production science. This one's a bit more complicated, it's the same number as that. So basically 7 to do the 1 per second or 1 per cycle thing. So I think I'm going to be able to have a simple direct insert because I don't think these ratios are quite as nice. That's 21 seconds on an electric furnace, for example. But an electric furnace takes, where is it? It's there. 5 seconds. So it'd be 1 to 4, which is awkward. This is 15 seconds, and this is 21. So again, 15 to 21 is kind of awkward. So I'm just going to go with making, since I know this is 1 every 7 seconds. So no, I got that completely wrong. Let me just rethink this. It's 1 every 3 seconds, of course, because if one makes 3 and I want 1 per second, then that's 1 every 3 seconds. So let's work out what that is. Let's get these trees out the way too. So looking at this, so it's 1 every 3 seconds, they take 5. That's kind of awkward. I guess it's going to be 2. So 2 of those. Well, maybe I'll just design it for a bigger thing, but let's start with this. And then to get 1 of these every 3 seconds, that's 15, so that's 5. So that's a lot more convenient. It's like a nice round number. And then it was, what was it on track? 10 every second, one thing makes 4 per second, so that's going to be 2 and a bit as well. On the track, anything special to note about the track, I guess, is iron sticks I need. So if I need an iron stick every half a second for that, and this makes an iron stick every, where is it? It's on here somewhere. Makes an iron stick every half second. Well, it makes 2 every half second, so actually iron sticks are going to be 2-to-1 ratio. So then how to lay this out? This one is the more complicated one, I think. Let's just get more of these out the way. So basically it's going to be 2 belts. So I guess that can be, there might as well be direct insert. So if that's inserting, what would the normal placement be? So if that's like that, and that insert there, that's in the wrong place, that goes there. Then that goes across there, can be reached by those, that can be reached by those. Very important that you're, like the one that's earliest on there, the output needs to be before the input, otherwise it's not going to work. Then I've got to do with these, so since that's there, possibility would be to come this way, loop down, so they're on the inside there, on the far side there, inside that corner comes the close side. That does work, but actually, I guess actually the close one should be rail track because of speed. This is still fine though, because this and this are opposite, so this can drop there, this can pick it up, it should work. That can go there and rail track will come around there. So these are hair, but they're 1 tile set off because basically if I inserted directly onto hair, these ones on the left would just not get resources. So potentially that could be the stone and the steel then, because they don't need it. Circuits, only 5 circuits actually, so that's better. The circuits are the one further away. And then these can get the circuits straight off of this belt, which they should be able to do perfectly fast. I always make these fast inserts as well if I actually need to. Then I want steel for this, so steel is going to be on there. Can it go over a bit further? I guess it can go over to there. Somewhat aware, I've made this design really hard to expand, but we'll have to see how that works out, I guess, in the future. So that can get steel, doesn't care about circuit. It wants stone. Stone's going to have to come from somewhere else then. Maybe if I move that one up, stone can be on there. See how this works out, I suppose. If I have to change, I have to change it. So long reach, stone, 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 and that was right. I don't know why I thought it was wrong. I thought it was wrong, but it's not. Because if the power poles are like that, then stone goes across, well, iron sticks go across there. And then iron can come there like that, and insert over like that. Actually, I've got a little bit of space left. I didn't quite run into the tracks, so that is good. So I think I've got all this correct now, except, yeah, I forgot something important in time. Where are the tracks going to output? Big question. Where's the output going to go? It wants to go this way as well. Maybe the iron can't go, the steel can't go there. Don't think it can. Okay, so move up a bit, I guess. Then what if steel was there? If steel was there, then do I just move these over one tile? I guess I can. So if that moves over one tile, then I have more flexibility. So let's say this here is circuits. It can come here, go up, and it's fine because they can still reach it. That means steel can go along to there. Then that can go there. So that'll be steel and stone, I guess. Steel and stone. Rail track there. Don't like the sound of that beeping, but I do want to figure this out. And I want to know why this doesn't line up as well. This is something wrong. I think that should have gone there, maybe. Does that line up now? Try it again. That now lines up. So rail track is on here, which can go down there. Did I finally get this correct? I think I did. So it looks like they're breaking the stuff down by the oil, which I can't see. So that's rather unfortunate. In other news though, I think I've got this all working now. Just waiting for it to get the track. Now I need to get 30 every 21 seconds, so I guess maybe I'll make these fast. I don't think they have to be fast inserters, but at least they'll get started faster. So that's going to get the two things onto there. This has to be on this one because there's no space on the other two and inserters can't reach any further. So duplicate that across there like so, and if that comes down there, can go in there. And not too worried about the forest as long as I can see what I'm doing. So I just need to make sure that there's no piece of track there. I think I'm fine. So that there's a corner. So there you have it, all 5 science packs. Well, I guess 6 if you can count the military, although the 5 are the ones I need for most of the remaining stuff. Actually, I get this. I could have got this a bit earlier, I guess, because it'll be useful for anything I'm doing. Then going to move on to, I think, rocket control unit. And what else am I missing for this? Oh yes, the tier 3 modules. Let's get those 2. Then I can queue up the rocket silo. So it looks like the main issue here is they ran out of ammo. So hopefully if I just put some ammo in these so that they're well stocked, I can carry on ignoring them for a little bit. Have I got enough ammo for all of them? I think they're all full now. 51. Yeah, what I can do is you both you're both about the same. So it looks like red circuits are limited by lack of green circuits, but the green circuit is actually backed up here. Yeah, I'm not even mentioning these. I'll worry about that in a moment. But at least for these ones, for the general bus, what I think I can do to fix this is if I do like that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to be up, change the belt direction on that. So once that's all done, what I'm going to basically be doing is merging the 2 sides here, and I'm doing it before the splitter here. So this splitter here can now send everything to the red. So I think if I do that, I want to get rid of that priority thing, and then just have it be like equal priority. And I also want to get rid of this thing here because I've no longer need to do that side loading deal. Of course, looking on to the next problem, it's going to be copper, I think. So I already had the copper here to come down south, so I only came this far though. So I think I'll do is I'll take it the rest of the way down now. And I'll use it for, I'll merge it in for this and this, and then, not sure about that yet. Maybe that's enough with the copper I've got here. So I think this is going to work. So use the new copper for the red circuits, merge them in for these green circuits, and for the time being I'm using the old copper for these circuits and these circuits. So it looks like iron isn't really enough either. Now I already had this bringing it down, so basically it's just because all of these plus these need more than 1 basic belt of iron. So I had the 2 belts here, so if I extend that down, this isn't very convenient right now to get a second belt through, so I'm just going to make it fast belt. Kind of a lazy solution, but that should be more than enough throughput. So on to the next thing for the rocket. I need the rocket fuel for it. So rocket fuel, I'm going to use light oil for the whole thing. I think it's just easier. I think it's also the most efficient for the solid fuel. So every 30 seconds, I need 10 at a crafting speed of... Yeah, this is really awkward. I'm just going to say 1 for the moment and see how this works out. So that means I need 1 every 3 seconds. This here makes 1 every 2 seconds. Okay, I do need to actually work out the differences then. So the crafting speed on this is 0.75. The crafting speed of this is 1. I thought it was 1.25. That's the tier 3s, I think, on these. Anyway, so if that is 0.75, and that makes the actual rockets, I think. So yeah, that's the same machine. That is a chemical plant. So it means we can times that by 0.75, or divide it rather. Brings us up to 40 seconds, which means I need 1 every 4 seconds. This makes 1 every 2 seconds, so I think it is in fact 2 to 1. Got a chemical plant, so 2 to 1 should be just have 2 and then 1. Then set those to... Don't I just mess up? No, I just didn't press Alt. Set those to rocket fuel, set this to that. How do anything clever to actually get these pipes in more easily? That's going to be the big question here, I suppose. Don't think I can. Well, if I move that 1 tile over, then that can go like that. And then I can have the 2 inserters across there and a power pole. Then the output can be there. And I can actually do a second one on the other side. So if I take the same thing, basically going to mirror it. So that's like that. Make sure I get the pipes correct. Like that. And like that. Then actually that's the only input on that. So I'm just going to make this whole thing out of basically light oil. So it's a very simple recipe actually, rocket fuel. That can go there. So a nice simple set of those. And then this should just tile as many times as I want it. So how many do I do for low density structures? And let's do the same for now. That's 36. So if that is 12, I need to do this whole thing 3 more times. So like that. I might do more train stations. So I guess I want to come further south than this, but this should be fine. Don't think I'll have that many train stations. I might have one for like gas and stuff, maybe. Well, acid isn't even here. Acid is somewhere else, so I'd have to figure that out. But they're going to come down there. Am I inside the logistics network? I am. So my solution with these is just going to be to put them in a box. And then I can come get them when I want them. Notice I was running low on power, so I quickly doubled the power plant down here. So nothing really to show. It's a copy-paste of that design over to there. And using the second 2 belts off of that splitter. This is probably about as much power as I can really consistently get from this coal mine though, so if I need more power I'm going to have to do something else somewhere else, I think. So next up for the rockets will be the rocket control units. Now I stared at the map a whole bunch, and I think the best place I've really got is here, because the processor units and the red circuits are here. If I need to expand the red circuits, that's not easy to do. I can try and fit them in somewhere, but I can't really expand this here as it is. That's going to be a problem. So hopefully I won't need to do that. If I need to get more copper or more iron to make more green circuits can go here. That should be easy. And I've got the capacity. I can upgrade these belts or double them up or whatever to get from the train station down to there. So that aspect's okay. More processing units is basically a question of more red circuits and green circuits. So red circuits is the biggest issue I see here because it's not easy to expand that. And because it needs plastic, coal and other bits, it's the hardest one to just put some around them. So starting over I think there, that's probably the best thing I get. To make these rocket control units I need a speed module. Speed module requires the red and the green. Well, every 30 seconds the speed module takes 15. So if that has red and green on it, then one of those can go to 2 of these, wherever they are. Where's the rocket control unit? There it is. So 1 speed module to 2 of those. Can I make this more compact? I think I actually can. Let's see, what if I did... Let's actually move that over 1. let's not move that over one. So move that there. So then that can be circuit, 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 and transfer across. Does that work? Do it that way. One power pole. That's very nice. So yeah, both types of red and green circuit and then processing unit. Or red, green and blue, whichever way you want to call them. Oh yeah, and I've got to do output, haven't I? That's got to go somewhere, I suppose. Actually, I could make it all fit on here. Let's do this. This is a new layout I've not done before. So if that was red and green, then if that was moved over a bit like so, that could be there. So I'll make it one tile wider and one tile shorter. I think it's an interesting layout. I've not done it this way. See how it works out. So basically that's the repeating part. So they go up, that goes up too, and then the actual output will be on there. Let's put the output in the other direction, so output will come along there. That's quite an interesting layout, I like that. And obviously it can just repeat. Hang on, put a belt there. Well, that is nice. Everything within one power pole's reach as well. And that can just repeat like that. I quite like that layout. I've never done it that way before, and I think that's really neat. As for connecting it all up, so you've got processing units or blue circuits there. Red and green circuits are here anyway for robots, so they can go through there and there. And then I think for rocket control units, actually I'll do the same thing I did with the rockets and stuff and just have a big box of them. So that can go there and there. And does this work or have I messed this up? I think this does work. Yeah, that one's working. So once that finishes its cycle, I think I'll put that speed module in that one. I think they take turns. Yep, it is. And now they're both working. So that's a nice compact layout because you can do it like that. Again, if I need to tile it up vertically. And that'll be a very nice and dense layout. So yeah, pretty much as soon as I built that as predicted, not enough circuits really. So the problem here is green circuits, that's because of iron. Now I have got lots of iron, I just need to bring it down, so I guess the solution will be to make this all red circuit, red belt. And I think the way to do that will be that. I'll have to see if that works or not, but I think that's the solution, and just make it red belt the whole way down. Looks like I might still need some more throughput there, so I kind of did that upgrade originally on that piece because this was difficult. But I suppose, well, it's kind of messy, but not really that difficult, so I can just go across there. And if I really need to, I can even run the belt past here, so I get a full belt over here. We'll see what this does though. So that's looking a lot better now. So since one circuit needs one iron, if that's full, then this should end up being full as well. Once they've kind of got up to speed. And then probably one full belt as much as I can do easily for the time being. I'll have to see how that goes. Basically, I just want to actually just take that. So that gets all the copper that I'm mining from here. There's not much left. So all of that goes to processing unit. Then that makes all of this a little bit easier to think through, because at that point I know I can take this, reverse the direction. So I guess actually here's a good place as any if I split that off. So what I want to work out, I need to decide how big I want to make this. So I want to make some productivity 3 modules for the rocket. So that takes 15 seconds, that takes 30, so that needs 4 of those, so that makes 2 each. So guys, that's interesting. So 2 of those will supply 1 of those constantly. And then I guess I'll just do 1 of those for now. Now that needs, so they both need blue. Do I have a nice way of making them both be able to reach the blue? Well, if I do something like that. I think that worked. So maybe not exactly here, but as a concept. That gets the blue circuits. They also both need red, and they need... everything needs red. How can I get red to everything? that maybe, but I can't underground that, that's too far. And you need... I put that the wrong way around, didn't I? No. It's fine, so that goes that way, that way, that way. What if it did that, like so? And you can have inserter, inserter, inserter. I'm not sure this is actually better than doing long strips. The idea is to do direct insert, so I end up with wasting less. Especially if I have a belt, then you end up with a whole bunch of modules on the belt that are kind of wasted, which is good for long-term throughput, bad for short-term get this made cheaply. But there's obviously some complexities about that. And I think one of them is I'm going to have to do that to get the circuits over to there. Because as well as this one, actually, I probably should have built this somewhere slightly different. Maybe... I'm so short on space. Maybe there. Yeah, this is terrible for space efficiency. Can I get rid of that somehow? See if I can think of a way of doing this. So that makes it a bit more space compact. But I need to get a red circuit up to there. That's going to be the trick, isn't it? Maybe I'll use a filter inserter. Don't use too many of those. That can go there. That does a red circuit. Puts it on the belt there. Yeah, I think that worked. I'm going to end up with more red circuits kind of sat on the belt than I'd necessarily like, but I think it worked. So they're getting processing units off of there. I actually want to change these. These are going to be for speed modules. Because I also want some beacons with speed modules once that's done. If I cut the tech now, I do have the tech tree, so beacons. So speed modules on all of these. And we'll see how this works. I've never done it this way before. I'm just trying out new things, I guess. But it's definitely not as compact, I think, as doing just a straight set of the same machines and having a belt in between. Because I'd normally do it more like this, where it's like basic, so like tier 1 goes into tier 2s, goes into tier 3s. Now what I do need there is red and green's there, so that is simple. I can just come across like that. That said, I've probably not got enough circuits anyway to run more than just this, because I'm short on process units, so I'm short on red circuits. So rocket silo itself, I think I put it over here. Right, there's a lot of empty space. I've done terrible for space management so far. Basic idea is have these all around it, so I'm going to make these beacons. Once I've got that tech, so this will be like just afterwards. Then what I'm going to have is, let's do 2 for each. I think two boxes for each thing will be fine. I'll just table that for the moment. I'll bring the row port over closer, I suppose, because otherwise that's going to complain. So that can go. Okay, well, robot can go build that. So what do I need? I need, I think 780 by 2, so that's what, 350 plus 40, 390. Let's go 390. I think that's the correct number. So I want 390 of those in one, 390 of those in another. Then the same for that, 390 and 390. And then I forget which one I just did. That was low density, so rocket fuel. So that would be 390 and 390. So get the rest of those made and delivered and brought over here. Put that there. Going to have that for that to make the rocket. Actually, I don't know if I'll make the rocket with that necessarily. Maybe what I could do is just put all my crap in some boxes and then I'll just do it manually. But I do know for sure I want 1,000 of these. I want 1,000 concrete, which is that type of concrete. 200 electric engines. I believe it's 100 pipe. And I forget anything. Oh yeah, 200 processing units. So 200 on that. Do I even have 200? Not quite. Well, getting close to it, I guess. I've not even got one of those. That's going to be a pain. I need to get those made before I can do anything else anyway. I need the productivity modules to put in the rocket. Well, I guess I don't need it, but like, you're wasting so much material if you don't put productivity in the rocket. It's definitely the one thing where it's like clear cut. I probably should have put productivity 1s in these. I didn't get around to it this time. But yeah, on the rocket, you're going from 1,000 of each to, I think it's 780 or something, 20. I can't remember. Math. You can work it out. It's a lot less, considering how expensive those rocket parts are as well. Well, research is done. Definitely some major messing up on resource allocation then. So, working on, I think, the first one of these soon. Use a couple more of these made. Let's work on that. Now, it's not going to put more sewing machines down. It is really red circuits. Normally I'd have built more red circuits, and I'm definitely regretting not doing that. Because I've actually got enough green circuits, I've got enough copper, I've got enough plastic. It's just I couldn't double this easily. Normally I'd build like... This is actually tileable design. So I could actually go like 1, 2, 3. But there's no space here. So that's definitely a mistake I made. I wish I had made more red circuits. So I think finally getting close to having enough. So I'm going to take these out so that basically stops wasting resources on there. Just waiting for that last one to be made. Guess I made a few extras I didn't need. So let's just toss those over there or something. So that'll give me 4, which is enough for the rocket silo, and have got 1 speed 3 there. I'm just going to take these out as well. I got kind of bored waiting for it, so I threw in some speed modules towards the end. So if I dump all my stuff in there, I've turned off that anyway. So I can take all that stuff, and I should have the thing to make 1 rocket silo. I guess I boxed that a little bit extra in for some reason. What sort of mistakes am I making today? Right, getting a copy from there, paste to there to get those. Then change that one over to copper plate to make those. That'll fill these out. Got the rocket silo. Got the modules in there, so that can have the productivity. Sometimes this game's a bit dumb. I didn't think it would ghost place there, I just thought it would place it in the right direction. Oh well. So that is now working. If this can get its thing going, let's just give it that. We're still waiting for some gears and stuff, I guess. Gears are electronic circuits, green circuits. Let's get that started then. Because as soon as I can get that, I can boost the rocket speed. If I've got this made yet, yep I have, I've got 2 of them, I've been not paying attention. So yeah, if I put that in there, can you not paste over? Okay, I'll just delete these and try again. And then put that there. So now it should build these, they should have stuff. If I give them power as well, that would be good. And so this is now getting crafting speed bonus, which will counteract the productivity and just make it generally faster. Yeah, I've got all the resources. I didn't make a satellite yet. I just kind of want to get the rocket achievement, basically, just have the rocket done. Obviously the space science pack is here, I guess I'll do that. But all the space science is this stuff here, this infinite tech, and I'm not really ready for that right now. There's other things I want to do, other like upgrades to do. Looks like it is finally just about done, so I did have plenty of these. Actually, I guess I should have like turned these off, to be honest, because I don't actually know if we're going to build another rocket here or not. I might build it somewhere else. This was a very quick solution. But 11 hours, fairly slow I guess, but this was a very tough map with the layout and getting the resources. I spent an awful lot of time doing outposts. I'm going to be continuing though I'm quite enjoying this map because of the layout. It's not like a standard thing, like I've never built furnaces this way before, because I've always had so much space just to build a solid block. And I've never built some of this way. This is just kind of a mess. Like circuits, complete catastrophe. Don't do circuits this way. The individual layouts are good, but just like the overall like spacing of stuff is terrible. I do like this though. This is really neat. Got some good radar coverage now. Don't see where more oil is. Oil might be an issue. Now, given the map settings, I don't think there's going to be too much of an issue with oil. In fact, for some reason, oil and coal are an issue. So let me show you simple. It's not even simple like, you could say just do coal liquid. Wow, I cannot pronounce that word. You could just say do coal liquefaction, but I've not got much coal either. And I think maybe it's because the spawns are underwater or something. You can see there's like a little edge there. Not really sure what's going on, but yeah, if there's no coal or oil, that's a bit of a tricky one. There's plenty of stone, plenty of iron, and plenty of copper. Could be interested to do nuclear on this map because while uranium's like not the big issue because you don't need that much of it, nuclear reactor setups take up a lot of space, and if I'm not doing a landfill or cliff explosives, yeah, I don't think any of my normal like reactor setups would fit on this map. I'd have to come up with something more compact. Well, there's actually a bit of oil. That's completely pointless. I'm not even going to bother getting that. But yeah, there's more oil around. Just need to find it. But I hope you have enjoyed this. So be sure to like, subscribe. I'll be probably continuing this in a few days' time. Might take a quick little break. And then we'll be seeing what the next month's map is. Also be sure to check out my 100% achievement one. I haven't actually launched the rocket, so I have got that achievement. I just need to edit the rest of the videos. That was quite a lot of work. There's other achievements to do on that, so I'll be doing like a regular mega base on that map, and then this one I'll just see what I can do with the islands, because there's obviously going to be more interesting layouts rather than a conventional mega base.